So that's me out again. Second trip of the season. It's the Friday the 18th of March, so the season's been open for 3 days now. Some of you will have noticed I was out the first day of the season, the 15th, which was Tuesday, and not only did I not catch anything, I didn't have a single cast. I was just looking for risers, and although there was a good hatch of flies, an impressive hatch of flies actually for the time of year, there wasn't a fish to be seen. So anyway, it's an absolutely beautiful spring day, early spring day. Not roasting hot, but neither is it cold. Sunny, bright. Water's dropped a wee bit since Tuesday. Feels warmish, I suppose. So we'll just get down to the water here. We're a bit further downstream today, just for a change. Usually get this bit to myself. Well, I usually get the whole river to myself. But seldom meet anyone else here. So we'll get down to the water, give it a go and see how we got on. I'm fishing nymphs today for a change. I thought I couldn't come out and shoot another video and not have a single cast again. So I'm going to start off fishing with a pair of nymphs under an indicator and see how it goes. Right, so starting here. This pool seems to have changed a bit since last year. Although memory is a fickle thing, so I wouldn't swear to that, but it just feels different. It seems to cut this corner here. This corner here, I'm sure it's the river swept further around last season. Yeah, the current's a bit different here this year. There seems to be a bit of a back eddy here. That east wind's cold actually here, but at least it's blowing upstream. I bought myself some new gear over the close season, probably as much to alleviate the boredom as anything else. I bought a couple of these reels on Amazon, Max Catch, CNC machined. They seem to be okay. They're about 50 or 60 quid each, and they seem to be okay. I don't know why I bought them. I don't really need any new gear. Well, I thought I might have got a fish in here. Got myself a couple of new lines as well, including the new Scientific Anglers Mastery GPX or MPX or whatever the heck they call it. They're absolutely ridiculously expensive now. I decided to try one of Mike Barrio's GT90 lines. This is the line I've got on at the moment. He gets them made in America now, and they seem to be a big improvement on the previous ones. This certainly seems to be a nice line, although it's not a good test for it fishing with heavy nymphs. Let's get into the bottom. But the line seems fine. Certainly a lot better value than the Scientific Anglers. I think the Scientific Anglers lines are about 80 quid each. I think this one from Mike was 50, 55, something like that. I can't remember. But it seems to be a nice line. Yeah, the line's handling the nymphs, these heavy nymphs, really well actually. But I won't be able to tell the true delicacy of it till I'm fishing with someone a bit more sensible on the end of the leader. As I said when I was out the other day, I've seldom found nymphs to be brilliantly effective here right in the early days of the season. But I'll plug away with the nymph for a wee while. And if a hatch comes on, I see any fish rising, I'll switch over to the dry. Oh, that sun's fine once you're out of the wind. Feel the heat on the back of the neck. There's one or two flies buzzing around. The rooks are very active today. Another sure sign of spring. Let's be into the other bank. To wade over and take that out. Yeah, it's a sure sign of spring. The rooks back in the rookeries. There's a reasonable size of rookery down by the old mill there, the old 17th century mill. Cheery sound. Yeah, there are olives on the water there. Alright, I'm going to head downstream a bit, negotiate the electric fences, which will hopefully be off at this time of year because the cows are still inside. And see what gives down there. See if I can negotiate this river crossing. Normally it's just ankle deep this bit, but the water's beautifully clear although it is high. It's quite open and exposed down here, plenty of really good water, but it's awfully exposed. When I was driving down here, I passed the place I normally park when I'm fishing the upper beat. That's the beat I was on the last time I was out. I noticed a car parked there, a car I recognised. Another angler I meet very occasionally on the river, Jock. So if you're watching this, Jock, I hope you had a couple of fish up there and you had a really nice day. Yeah, Mike's GT90 seems to be handling these nymphs quite well. I thought they might fly around like a bolas on but no, they're fine. It's got a strange taper, this line. It's got a really extended back taper, which should make it more stable. You're casting a long line, carrying a long line. But it seems to have the coating on it is absolutely lovely. And what a UK made lines. The coatings are a bit dodgy, to be perfectly honest with you. As I say, Mike gets these made in America now. This is his Mark II brand or models. And this seems to be a better line altogether. My goodness, it's lovely when the wind drops. You get that sun in the back of your head. Yeah, I thought we'd fish nymphs today. I couldn't really shoot another video without having a single cast. Me sitting on the bank talking nonsense. Far better that I'm casting talking nonsense. What a lovely run this is. but the fish still seem to be asleep. No sign of any movement at all. I've got a 3mm tungsten bead pheasant tail. It's about size 12 or a 10 on the tail. So that should be getting up, down. See, it really is getting down because that's it stuck in the bottom. As if to demonstrate. QED. Now, am I going to get this out or am I going to break off? Oh, it's come out. That's a break. Oh, the luxury of an upstream wind, it's brilliant. Masks the poor casting technique beautifully. I think some of you guys also check out Philip's channel. And Philip fishes mainly in Northern Ireland and on the Isle of Lewis and the Hebrides. Lochfish, it's quite different from this. You should really check the channel out. It's excellent. It's really cool and laid back. I'll put a link in the description. It's Caorach, I think you pronounce it, the channel. C-A-O-R-A-C-H, which is Gaelic for sheep. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Anyway, I'll put a link in the description to the channel. It's worth checking out. I'm pretty sure some of you guys already know of it. Yeah, it's kind of like the still water version of this. Some old guy just casting and talking nonsense. Although to be fair, Philip's not as old as I am. Sorry, Philip. Well, not a nibble so far. Just a touch early and the water's still just a touch cold. Yeah, I haven't measured the temperature of it today. It's kind of academic. There's nothing you can do about it. So unless it's going to stop you fishing, if it's too hot or too cold, there's not really much point in doing it other than just out of general interest. If I came out today and measured the water temperature, it was only 5 degrees, I'm not going to go home, I've got to fish anyway, so it's all a bit pointless. This is beginning to look like it could be another video with no fish, guys. I've not seen anything like the hatchwood the other day, so far anyway. The drone footage that starts this video was shot a couple of weeks ago on the top stretch, so you'll maybe recognise some of the pools in it. That's where Jock's fishing today. I would imagine there'll be a few guys for the angling club out at the weekend, either here or on Roscoby Loch, which is 5 or 6 miles along the road. It's where this river comes from. It's one of the sources of this river. Roscoby's a nice loch, a natural loch, stocked fishery, but it's a natural loch. It's obviously got a head of wild fish in it as well, but it's mainly rainbows and browns. Some absolutely stonking brown trout in it, monsters. Like a lot of lowland lochs in Scotland, it suffers on prime agricultural land, which this is. This is really high grade agricultural land. It suffers a lot from algal blooms in the summertime and weeds, Canadian pondweed and algae. And in bad summers, I've actually seen the water in this river running green out of Roscoby. Maybe just for 24, 36 hours. That's most disconcerting. You come down and you see it. You go, somebody been pouring paint in here. in which case you just go home. Didn't happen last year, but the season before it did. Nothing doing. Nothing doing, the fish are still all asleep. But we'll try a few more pulls on the way up. It could be quite a short video today. In fact, when I review the footage, if it's really boring, I probably won't bother publishing it. So if you're watching this now, I must have reviewed it and thought it was only moderately boring. But I get a lot of comments in the comment section, and I think most of the audience, they sound too pretentious, seem to appreciate the honesty. As I say, you get it as it is, warts. There's obviously some editing goes on, but you get it as it is, warts and all, because that's what life's like. Life is not a fish every cast. Right, try up a bit. The enemy. Pair of mallards over there. I'm amazed they haven't flown off or water skied. Oh, they're heading towards the water though. I'm just crossing the river here. It's very sheltered here. There's a reasonable hatch of large dark olives on right now, so just keep my eye open for rising fish. You just never know. I'll drift my nymphs in the streamy water just outside this tree on the other side. I've had a few fish there in the past. Right, I've moved upstream a wee bit. This is most peculiar because downstream the water was crystal clear, and up here it's got a touch of colour in it. Now why would that be? Most strange. That's getting positively murky actually. I can still see the bottom, so I'll still fish, but my goodness. It's just getting dirtier and dirtier. But I heard the cows wading in it or something. It's probably removed any chance of a fish. However slight that may have been, it's probably non-existent now. I'll have a few casts in here anyhow. I'm certainly getting deep enough anyhow. Well, there doesn't seem to be much point of fishing here. The water's positively murky now. So what I'll do, I'll head on down a couple of miles downstream to one of the other bits I often fish. I'll have a few casts down there, and hopefully that murk will have settled out by the time the water reaches there. We shall see. Right, that's me a couple of miles downstream. I'm completely out of breath. But the water's clear down here. How strange is that? It's the very opposite of what you normally expect. The further upstream you go in the river, the clearer the water becomes. But not today. I can only assume there was a big herd of cows or something wading around in the river. It's the most likely explanation. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to head down here another few hundred yards and fish some of my old favourite spots and see how it goes. Catch up with you when I get there. Oh, provided I don't have a heart attack before I do. Getting too old for this. I wonder if you get 4-wheel drive mobility scooters. That's what I need. Right, on a few drifts in here. One of my old favourite spots. It's probably a bit deep and cold at the moment, but we can but try. There's a lot of any fish in here at the moment. They're maybe on the edge of that slant water, I would think. So probably just wade out a little bit more, try to keep the line as short as I can. Get a lot more control that way. Nope, fish are all asleep down here as well. Yeah, this line seems to be a step up from the old model, the Mark 1 models. If I remember, I'll put a link in the description to it. If you're looking for a decent line and don't want to pay 80, 90, 100 quid, this is a good option. I may be completely wrong with this, but I was told that they were made in the States by Cortland, but that could be completely wrong. So if it is, tell me it's wrong in the comments section. Right, I'll try up a wee bit, see if I can find slightly slacker water. Maybe just have a sit and watch the water for a wee while. Right, let's go and have a look. Right, I'll have a few casts in here and then probably just call it a day. The river still seems to be asleep. So we'll have a wee sit here for 10 minutes and just watch the water. When we were out bank clearing in the winter time, January, February, we actually saw a couple of fish rising in this pool. But whether anything will rise today is another matter. There is the occasional fly coming down now, but nothing like the hatch the other day. The hatch on the 15th was amazing. So it's beginning to look like another no fish day, but my goodness, it was enjoyable. Just to feel the warmth of the sun on the back of the neck again. It was lovely. Really did feel like spring had arrived. But I think the river's needing another week to a fortnight just to warm up a touch. That said, someone will find fish somewhere. Nope, no sign of anything rising at all. So I think I'm just going to call it quits at that, guys. Another no fish day. But I think the first 3 or 4 trips I had last season I didn't catch it in. Either it was April before the fish seemed to come on. So anyway, we'll leave it at that. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you managed to stay awake. And we will see you in the next video, whenever that may be. It'll probably be a week or so, I think. But you never know, I might get inspired. Anyway, bye for now, and thanks for watching.